Dear sister, healing isn't a race. You know what it is? It's a journey. And let me tell you something, sis. You don't have to apologize for how long it takes. That's what some of y'all run into all the time. People want you to just get over stuff. You know, I run a Dear Brother podcast as well. I talk to a lot of men all the time. And it's like, yo, why don't you just get over it? Why don't you just get over it? You know, it's because we're looking at a lot of y'all through our own eyes. You know, men can get over it or act like we can get over it. Sometimes we're not over it at all. But sometimes a lot of you are under the rush to get over it, whether it be family, whether it be children. You're just in a rush to get over it, you know, get over the hurt or get over the pain. Sometimes that you even cause yourself. Sometimes it's not always the other people that hurt you. There are times in your life where you cause yourself that pain, but it's not about rushing to get through it. It's about healing from it. Let me say this one more time. You don't have to apologize for how long it takes because healing is absolutely not a race. See, this is the thing. You're not behind. I want to say that to you. I need you to know that today, sis. You're not behind. You're not broken, right? You're not weak because you're still feeling it. Whatever it is, that don't define yourself by that. You're not weak because you're still feeling it. You know what you are? You're a human. You are a human being. And you know what? That's allowed. That's allowed. That's allowed. You're allowed to be a human being because that's just what it is. See, this episode right here is for every woman that feels the pressure to just get over it. It's the episode for every woman who's been pushed and pulled by everybody around you. Come on, let's just get it together. Sometimes you can't get it together. Sometimes you just can't get it together. Sometimes you're stuck in that place where you are, and it's not about wanting to be stuck there. It's about really finding your way through. I said on one of my shorts from the Dear Sister podcast one time, sometimes you got to fight your way through the ashes to find what's left of you. But even that takes time. So every heartbreak, man, every trauma, you know, and that's why I like talking to you ladies on here, because it's not always about men. I think it's too much on social media that's just all about men and what men did. You know how many other things y'all got going on besides men and dating and husbands? It's childhood trauma. You know, it's not only daddy issues, it's mom issues too. It's big sister issues. It's pressure on y'all all the time. It's always constantly in your face. And there's always something there, whether it be betrayal, disappointment, you know, and whether it's been 2 weeks or 2 years, guess what? You got to find grace for this journey. And your journey deserves the grace that you find for it. I want you to grab a hold of that. Your journey deserves the grace that you find for it. And don't let nobody rush you through that, or don't let nobody for their own sake. Because there, in a lot of cases, y'all are rushed for somebody's sake. And even though you are felt like, okay, you put on better, that place is still not fully healed, and you're still trying to hold that place inside. You know, I'm talking about real betrayal. I'm not talking about just having a tough day. Because some at times, ladies, I'm telling you from bro, don't get offended from bro. A lot of y'all hold on to too much all the time, and you can't hold on to everything. But I'm talking about deep, dramatic hurt or pain, loss that you're still dealing with. Find the grace for it. Today, I want to empower you, y'all. I want to empower you to stop rushing. And I want to empower you to honor some of those spaces in your life where you just got to get healed. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And you can't rush that for nobody. It's part of the process. And guess what? Sometimes it is about you. Sometimes it is about you. Because it's not selfish to preserve yourself. It's not selfish to preserve yourself. It's smart. It's wise. Is wise. In loving you, there's no sin in loving you. There's no sin in loving you. So love you all you need to, sis. You know, one of the things I really find problematic in a lot of sisters' life, man, is this social media. Social media heals nothing. I'm promising you that. I ain't saying it can't give it good advice, but at the end of the day, it heals nothing. Now, some of y'all would say, well, dude, bro, you on social media. Yeah, I am. But guess what? Healing is a decision. It's not about just what you hear, what's viral. It's about a decision. We live in a world of scrolling. We scroll and we scroll. And guess what? Sometimes we scroll faster than we can ever heal, right? You can watch hundreds of reels on self-love. You can watch thousands of affirmations and you can say them. Listen, and still wake up feeling broken. Still wake up things not together. Because healing is about intention. It's about intention. It's about what you really decide on for you. Right? It's about what you decide on for you. And then not only what you decide from in your mind, but then sis, at some point it got to move to your hands and then move to your feet. I'm talking about the parts of you that make you walk out what's been on your mind. It can't stay here. It can't stay here, right? These reels that give you good advice, listen, again, it's a good piece of advice, but it won't build your soul. What's your soul? Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. So a reel can't get through all that. That's a lot of you. Your mind, your will, and your emotions, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, even a minute and a half. It's not going to get through your soul, right? And even though this stuff sparks awareness, which it should do, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that it will turn things around for you. Sometimes you got to get up and turn yourself around or decide when it's time to. Listen, memes aren't therapy. They ain't therapy. And I don't care if some of y'all go on chat, GPT and AI and all that and ask that. Listen, that's only feeding you something that's something fed it. That don't mean it's intentional and designed for you. Listen, as a woman, you are a divine design. So when you got to be fixed back together, it's going to take something divine to fix that divine design, right? So make sure that you're not just jumping into things that's quick fix or just going to make you feel better for a moment, right? It might make you laugh. It might make you cry. It might make you think back. But guess what they won't do? It won't get you up and walk you out of the darkness that some of you are in mentally, socially, emotionally. It won't. And yeah, you strong, you go to work every day, you raise your kids, but at the end of the day, you know you're not you. The win is not survival, sis. The win is not survival. You've been surviving too long. Some of y'all been surviving since your teenage years. You had to survive without a father. You had to survive with a mother that was in and out. Some of you had to grow up surviving. Some of you became too strong too early. What's that mean? That means you was raising your brothers and sisters and you know what I mean? And too early. Too much responsibility for a young girl. Some of you had kids early. You were just a girl, right? So a lot of that is trauma. And sometimes you operate out of that often, right? You operate out of that space often, and then you find that some of those places in your life, you still hold on to them as you're walking into new things, which keeps you in a place where you're stuck. And then the longer you're stuck, the more you feel like, I got to hurry up and get myself together. Yeah, you got to get yourself together, but hurrying ain't the job because you can hurry and then realize something's still broken, right? Don't let this stuff trick you up. You got to grow past it. You got to grow bigger than it. Sometimes you just got to get bigger than it. You got to get bigger than the situations you in. You do. Because one thing I've learned in a lot of my counseling of women, a lot of things I learned in doing marriage counseling is that when it comes to healing, it's never going to follow your timeline. It's never going to follow your timeline, right? Some of the biggest mistakes you, my dear sisters, make is and in many cases, comparing yourself. You compare yourself to somebody else's timeline. Like when you say stuff like, she moved on, she got over it in 6 months. She got over it in 5 months. Hell, she was over it in a year. What's wrong with me? You know? Or what else? Or you say things like, this should be over by now. Who said that? Who said that? Don't fall into the curse of comparison when it comes down to healing. And this is the truth. How do you know they even got healed? And guess what? Even if they did get over it or get through it in 6 months, that don't mean it's you. Y'all not constructed the same emotionally. You're not, right? Here's another one. What I've heard. Why am I still crying when everyone else seems happy? You're deceiving your own self, girl. You're deceiving yourself there. And again, you're comparing yourself to other people and you don't even know where they are. You don't know where they are. Your process, my sister, is personal. Your process is personal every single time, no matter what. Listen, there's no magic day when pain just disappears. And I'm going to share something with y'all. I lost my daughter. My daughter was 4 months old. I had triplet girls, and I lost one at 4 months. Had to eulogize my own baby, right? Man, that was the biggest pain that I've ever dealt with in my life, you know, and trying to walk her mom through it. Come on. And even in that situation, I had to realize as a man that her pain was different than mine. As a father, her pain was different than mine as a mother. Neither one is less than or bigger than the other, but the pain is different. It's different. So her process wasn't going to be my process. And my process wasn't going to be her process, but I had to honor her process. Even to this day, not fully understanding how could I understand what it is to be a mom to lose your child. But she couldn't understand what it is to be a dad to lose your child. And that's not something we went to war at, but that's something we had to understand, right? There is no universal clock for this stuff. There's no universal clock to stop feeling. There's no universal clock to start or stop healing, right? There's no deadline. You know what healing is? It's a devotion. I'm devoting myself to getting where I have to go. Why? Because I don't want to be stuck in this condition forever. So take yourself off the clock. And God knows, take yourself off other people's clock, because their clock is always going to be probably based on them and how they feel. And that's so unfair to someone to want somebody healed based on how they're feeling. So take yourself off somebody else's clock, right? This is what happens. People who rush their process don't understand the depth. You don't understand the depth of your wounds. When you see people rush their process, they don't understand the depths of the wounds. They don't. It's like when you go to the doctor and they say, hey, take this this penicillin or something, whatever they say, take this over 7 days. And most people feel better after 2 days. And it's like, oh, I'm good. You're not good. You got to heal through. That might be a whole nother podcast. You got to heal through situations, not just heal from. Sometimes you got to heal through because of how deep that wound might be in your life, right? So don't shrink to even meet your own expectations. And God knows, again, don't shrink to meet somebody else's. Don't do that, man. You owe yourself more than that, sis. I'm telling you how valuable you are. And I'm not going to get off of this. Like, I need you to really know how valuable you are. And the value in you means don't rush. Don't rush, because you got years to go on. You got years to love again. You got years. And guess what? Because of those years you have, you ought to be going into those years as your best self, right? This is another big thing. I really need to put on this video today. You can't heal what you refuse to grieve. You can't heal what you refuse to grieve. Right? You cannot heal what you refuse to grieve. Listen, grieving isn't just about death. Sometimes we hear that word grief and it just becomes about death. No, it's not just about death. Grief is for anything you lose, right? What happens is the version of you that believed in a certain person and the things didn't work out. And that's grief. It don't make them bad. It don't make you bad, but you believed in a certain situation. The dreams that die in a broken relationship, right? The innocence or the trust or the time that you gave in, you lost it. You got to mourn all of that. It's not just about death. And that's one of the tricks. Okay. Somebody dies, we got to grieve. Anything you lose, there's a grieving process. Anything you lose that meant something to you, there's a definite grieving process that you have to go through with that. You have to know that. You have to be okay with that. And yes, grieving is messy. It ain't nothing nice, right? It's that ugly, crazy cry at 2, 3 in the morning. You pop up out your sleep and you going through it, right? It's having to admit, I'm still broken by this, right? But what you can't do is ignore. You can't ignore grief. It doesn't make it go away because you ignore it. You know what it does? It buries it deeper in your soul somewhere where now the search has to go longer and harder to find that place. When something's on that surface and you look at it, don't push it deeper by denying it's not there, sis. There's some things y'all can probably look back on your life now and say, you know what? I was 32 when this happened. Now you 40. And it's like, yo, why is that still there? Because time didn't take that away. When it was sitting on the surface, your opportunity to deal with it, you didn't want to. You didn't want to feel it. You didn't want to deal with it. You wanted to just move on. You wanted to just date somebody else. That stuff don't go nowhere. It always going to rise to the top. You can be married to the man of your dreams, and that thing going to rise to the top. You can be in the position of your dreams. It's going to rise to the top. You can finally get the home of your dreams, drive the car of your dreams. But that deep emotional thing that you allowed yourself to push down is going to rise to the top at a certain place, at a certain time in your life, right? Because what's buried eventually going to grow roots. And once it grows roots, it's going to come right back. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from? It came from you ignoring it, right? Sometimes you got to sit with pain. You got to sit with pain. Sorry, y'all. This is my little, my healthy juice stuff I got. You got to sit with pain. You got to let the tears fall. Right? You know them hot tears. You ever cry them hot tears that burn down, this feel like it's this hot running down the side of your face? Those hot tears, not because you're weak, because you're worth releasing what's been weighing you down. You're worth releasing what's been weighing you down. Don't think, oh, I'm supposed to be here. No, nobody. I don't care what mistake you made. Nobody's supposed to sit and grovel in the spaces, in the places of their life that they really want to get through. Nobody's supposed to just sit there, right? Because ultimately, I think what you need to know is that there's layers to healing. There's layers to healing. There's always many layers to healing. And some of you have said, I thought it was over. I thought I was through this. Well, welcome to this truth, sis. Healing is layered. Just because you dealt with that layer don't mean that this one is gone. Listen, it's not a straight line. Healing ain't no straight line. Growing ain't no straight line. Getting better is not a straight line. Everything you do to improve yourself is never a straight line. It's some days you're going to feel like a monster. Like, yo, I'm on top. I got it. Right? Some days you're going to feel like you're spiraling. Just yesterday. It was an old song. Just a week ago. You felt like you was on top. Yeah, I'm through it. I'm good. Then later that evening, you spiraling. You're not going crazy. It's part of the grieving process, the growing process of coming back from healing so you can be the best you. Right? Some days you're going to laugh. Other days you're going to hear a song that take you down. Right? You're going to smell a smell that take you down. It's part of the process. Right? So when you go through those moments in your life, it's not regression. It's not regression. It's reflection. It's your ability to look at a thing. And sometimes that laugh is good. It's a good feeling, but it's not allowing you to look at a thing. So that laugh was necessary. Sometimes that laugh was necessary so that you can have the strength to look at this thing that you've been trying to ignore. So you know what's very important? Being patient, knowing there's layers. Being patient that, look, I slipped off this one, but there might be another one right there. Right? Give yourself time. It's not a race. That's what I really want to drive to you today. It's not a race. Right? The first layer in a lot of situations, the first layer is acceptance. Acceptance. The first layer is acceptance, sis. The second layer a lot of times is forgiveness. Forgiveness of somebody else. And you know the greatest forgiveness you can ever have is the one you give yourself. Right? And the third is always letting go. That's sometimes the toughest one. How do I just let this thing go? That's the toughest one because a lot of you sisters want to control everything, right? And you still want to say, I need to squeeze the juice out of this. No, sometimes you need to let something go to get free. It ain't, sometimes it's not always about understanding every little part of it. Life brings you better understanding, right? And I feel like I'm talking to somebody here. You really need to know this because your desire to control the situation, you holding it and looking at it, observing it, microscoping this thing, you are leaving yourself stuck. Sometimes the best thing to do is walk away. And when y'all like, look, bro, but wait a minute, brother. Well, how I'm supposed to understand it? Let life, you might look up and it be 7 years later. You like, oh, okay. I get it now, right? Sometimes you revisit layers. You revisit layers over time and you're in a better situation to look at it. You can't look at everything right now while you're in your healing process. It just don't work like that. You know, it doesn't work like that because growth comes from rising. Growth don't come from returning over and over and over again, right? It comes from rising. And when you rise, you get a better view of what's going on. Let me say this too. I think that you got to celebrate small victories. You got to celebrate small victories, even if it's a small one. It's progress, right? Because you're not looking for perfection. You're looking for progress. How can I make progress? Am I making progress in my life? Am I better than I was a few weeks ago? That's what you're looking for. Because that's the ultimate win right there. Did I grow? What am I looking for? Did I approach something differently than I would have? right? Did I carry the same attitude that I would have before? Am I looking at this thing different? Celebrate those moments where you don't go off. Celebrate those moments where you're able to sit still and ponder something instead of snapping. Celebrate those moments where you held on to your smile and wouldn't let yourself go down with some nonsense. Celebrate those times where you didn't answer that phone or feel obligated to fix somebody else's problem. Celebrate that, right? You might not be where you want to be, sis. You might not. But guess what? You're not where you used to be. You're not where you used to be, and that's big. That's big, because some of you could look over your life and say, yo, I was stuck there for 20 years. I was stuck there for 15 years. I've been stuck there since my teenage years, and here you are dealing with it differently. Celebrate that, and don't let nobody act like it's small when you know it's big, right? You know, that one boundary you finally set, that one no you finally gave, celebrate that, right? That's a victory. When you say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this person harshly. And again, we're not talking about men. Sometimes it's families. Sometimes it's your parents. Sometimes it's your kids. Sometimes it's your ex. Whatever it is, whatever the situation is. Sometimes it's somebody on your job, your coworker, your boss, right? Sometimes it's just dealing with yourself better. Did you do it better this time? That's something to celebrate. Did I do it better this time? Because if you refuse to celebrate, you keep on seeing yourself as small. Every victory says I got bigger, I got brighter, I got better. You got to celebrate that. And waiting for somebody else to do it. Listen, it's not that they don't see your goodness, but they focusing on their own life. They focusing on where they trying to go. They can't see every victory you had. So you got to celebrate it. It don't make them a bad person, right? Waiting on somebody else. Again, if that celebration don't come, then where you going to go? You got to celebrate you. You got to celebrate you, because you know why? Healing isn't always loud. Healing is subtle. It's quiet. It's internal. That's why you can't look for other people to see it all the time. People see that big leap, that bound. It's like losing weight. You know, you might lose 2 pounds and it don't look like it to nobody else, but you stood on the scale and knew it. It ain't till you lose that 10, 15. Everybody like, oh, you look different. Same thing emotionally. It's subtle. It's quiet. But celebrate those small wins. Again, so you don't always keep on seeing yourself as a loser or a person that keeps on returning to the same situations. You know what the enemy wants? The enemy of your life and the enemy of your success wants you to constantly look at who you're not. But I want you to look at who you are. I want you to view who you are, because if you start looking at who you are and what you've done, then guess what? You won't allow yourself to go in some of those holes you were in before. Right? So don't wait for perfection. Some of y'all perfectionists, and it's hurting you. Just celebrate your growth. Every step forward that you make, no matter how small it is, give yourself credit for it. Because some of you lived your whole life, nobody ever gave you credit for it. Your parent, nobody celebrated you. You got to learn to celebrate yourself, sis. You got to learn to pat yourself on your own back, right? Look in the mirror and tell your own self, look, baby, you beautiful. You beautiful. Don't keep on waiting for a man to do that. I ain't saying a man shouldn't do it, but you can't keep on waiting for that. What if he don't say it? What if he don't say it? And guess what? Some of y'all single women out there, how to know he is who he is when he starts saying the stuff to you that you said to you. Let me say that again. That's why you got to fill your own words on your own life with great words. Because then when you hear him say it, it's like, oh, he's speaking to me like I speak to me. Celebrate, sis. Celebrate. It's important for you to do that. And again, stop waiting around. I can move on, but to another point, but I really feel like somebody listening needs to hear that part right there. You really need to hear that part right there. Celebrate yourself and stop waiting for other people to do it. It's very important. Very important. Listen. Let's look at this before we go. Healing is messy, but it's beautiful, right? Healing is personal. So everybody ain't going to see the process, and they shouldn't, because some people see your process and get in the way of it. Don't let anybody put an expiration date on your journey. It's your journey. It's your journey. You don't got to treat people mean on your journey either. So again, you're on the journey. Know that you're on the journey. You don't got to be mean to nobody, and especially don't be mean to yourself. There's no blue ribbon for this. There's no medal for this. All it is a better life on the other side. You deserve the peace that you desire, and you should have it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share these videos with other sisters that you know is looking to grow. I started this podcast because I'm a man that I feel like women need to have advice and have love and wisdom from a man without him wanting anything in return. So y'all can grow and go. It's the same thing I would tell my sister. Y'all look on that little picture. It's me in front, my big sister behind me. Thought that was the best picture for this podcast. And I got daughters I'm raising. 18-year-old twin girls and a 7-year-old. Somebody should be there to give you something without needing nothing in return. Take your time. Lift your head. I love you. Make sure you love you. Yesterday is history and tomorrow's a mystery. Sis, all you got is right now. Do something great with it. Until the next time, I love you, brother.